Hi, my name's Jye Spriggs and you're watching me on Run Forest Run TV. Hi, my name's Jye Spriggs. I'm 27 years old, born and bred in Townsville, Queensland, now living in Brisbane. I'm an exercise physiologist part-time and a professional triathlete. Yeah, so I grew up in Townsville as a youngster. Sport's always been a big part of my life. Pretty much ever since I could walk, I was playing sport. I started off playing hockey as a junior and played at a national level there, and that was always my dream, was to go to the Olympics for hockey and make the Kookaburras, the Australian hockey team. Then I moved down to Brisbane when I finished school, started uni studying sport and exercise science, and the goal was to pursue hockey there. That's kind of half the reason I moved as well. And then after a year, I kind of, in the off season actually, I was sort of not sure what to do, didn't have many friends because I'd only just moved down. And Mum said, oh, why don't you join a tri club? Because I'd always been interested in triathlons. So I guess I started watching triathlons when I was about 12 years old. So watching the ITU stuff, kind of when Alistair Brownlee was starting to make his way up the ranks, and just always been a big fan of the sport, but never actually done it or trained for it. I was quite a good cross-country runner at school, so I went to state cross-country and that sort of thing, but never ridden a bike or never really done much swimming. And then I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. I'm in my off-season. So I joined the UQ Triads Club at UQ there, and really enjoyed it, met a few nice people there. And then I did my first triathlon at the end of that year. That would have been 2014. And then from there, I really loved it and wanted to keep doing it. So then I actually tried to do hockey and triathlon in 2015. And by the end of 2015, I decided, you know what, I actually really want to pursue this sport. So I actually gave up hockey at the end of 2015, which was a hard thing because I'd been playing it for, it would have been 12 years or so. And whole family was involved. So it was a hard thing to give that up. But yeah, kind of haven't really looked back since. So end of 2015, kind of decided to go all in with triathlon. I was still studying at that point, so it was kind of an easy transition in the sense that I was studying full time. I had good support from my parents. They've always been very supportive of me. So I was able to pretty much train as much as I wanted. Kind of just racing the age group ranks for a few years. So I was kind of working my way up steadily. Within a year or two, I was kind of podiuming in my age group in most events, just doing the local events sort of around Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast area. Then from there, I kind of decided, actually, I really want to go pro. It had always been a dream of mine to be a professional athlete. As I said at the start, I kind of had a dream of going to the Olympics. That kind of sort of ran its road, I guess. So then I decided, all right, well, maybe I can become a professional triathlete. I've always loved the sport of triathlon and kind of was starting to get some results, but also knew what it took in terms of the times, because triathlon versus team sport, it's very easy to sort of see the level you're at because you can literally look at the times that the top guys are doing. So I was still quite a way off, but thought I could get to that point. Kind of just kept progressing through the ranks each year, went to age group worlds, finished 9th there at the Gold Coast in 2018, which was a good stepping stone for me. And then from there, it kind of really took off and I really ramped the training up once I finished uni. Just took on a part-time job from there so I could train properly. Parents were really supportive throughout that time. And then 2021, I raced the Noosa Triathlon in the opens field, and I actually finished second there. So top 3 in that race can qualify to take their professional license. So second place meant I got an automatic, I guess, qualification spot to go pro. Then COVID sort of hit. That was kind of that time. It was 2020, end of 2020 I did Noosa, and then COVID hit. So I kind of didn't take my pro license for that first year because there wasn't much racing on, and I just decided to keep training. I then actually took 3 months off triathlon. I kind of just thought, you know what, this is kind of wearing me down a bit. There's not much racing on, and sort of decided I was sick of just grinding every day and didn't really feel like I was progressing much. So took 3 months off, really missed the sport. And then one day I just woke up and said, you know what, I actually really miss this sport. I want to just start back. So I just started back slowly, just building up the swimming, biking and running again. Then I was still eligible to take my pro license. So from there, I just said, stuff, I'm going to take my pro license. Raced Noosa 2021. That was my first professional race. Got absolutely towed up. I think I came 25th or something. But I love the experience, and I said, you know what, I want to actually keep trying to progress here. And so since then I've just trained really hard, and started this year, moved back down to Brisbane from Townsville in 2023. Started training with guys like Nick Free, Kurt McDonald, Ed Vining. So got some really good experience there with those guys. And yeah, this year I've just progressed really well through the ranks, and my last 3 races I've gone 10th at Sunshine Coast 70.3, 8th at Melbourne 70.3, and then a 6th at Challenge Canberra last weekend. So really nice progression there, and yeah, it's been a good journey, and I'm keen to keep working my way up the field, I guess. Yeah, so a typical training week for me consists of around 20 to 25 hours of actual training time. That's not including all your recovery time and stretching and massage and those sort of things. But so typically on a Monday, go out for a ride in the morning, generally just 2 to 3 hours, nice and easy. That afternoon, generally do a swim squad at UQ Pool. So Monday's kind of an easier day for me, recovering after a big weekend. Tuesday, we go into some hard run and swim intervals. So I work Tuesday afternoon, so I try and do a hard swim in the morning with some sprint work, so 25s and 50s, and then into a hard run, generally 10 to 12K with some sort of higher intensity VO2 max efforts. So that can be anywhere from 1 minute to 4 minute efforts. Yeah, then work that afternoon. Wednesdays are a big day, so I don't work Wednesdays, so I do a 3 to 4 hour ride on the bike, generally go out with a few of the guys, do a bit of a bunch roll, that's just aerobic generally. Then straight into swim squad at 10 a.m, so it's kind of quick backup into swim squad. Then try and have a few hours recovery in between that, and then we'll go for like a 10K run in the afternoon, just nice and easy. Thursday I work in the afternoons again, so I kind of cram everything in the mornings. So it's generally, what do we do? Like generally like a 2 hour ride in the morning, a little swim, like a 2K recovery swim, and then into like a 6K recovery run. So Thursdays is generally pretty easy, but I just try to touch on all 3 legs if possible. Friday's another recovery day, so I work Friday mornings. So basically work all morning, finish at lunchtime, and then I'll go for a swim in the afternoon. So that's generally 3 to 4K. So I try to have 1 day a week where I'm off the legs and just sort of letting them absorb the training from earlier in the week. And then into Saturday. Saturday's probably my biggest day of the week. So it's generally a 3 to 4 hour brick ride with some efforts. So that'll be at 70.3 sort of pace. And then straight into a run off. That can be anywhere from 6 to 12K, generally with some 70.3 efforts in that one. And then we go for a nice easy swim in the afternoon, so just 2 to 3K with some drills and technique work. And then into Sunday, we've just got the standard long run, so 90 minutes or so. As I'm getting closer to races, I'll add some efforts in, but early season will just be endurance work. And then into a nice easy swim Sunday afternoon, again, just another 2K easy. Yeah, so adding all that together, I guess weekly totals, we're looking at around 15 to 20K in the pool, between 300 and 400K on the bike, and about 60 to 80 on the run. In terms of recovery stuff, I guess the biggest priority for me is just to get the legs up. So I don't really see a physio. I used to get massage occasionally once a week, guy up in Townsville, but obviously living in Brisbane now, I don't really do that anymore. I will visit him on occasion when I'm up there. But for me, it's basically just trying to get time off the feet, a little bit of stretching, and just trying to get as much food in as possible. So that's a big learning point I've taken on this year, is once the session's done, and even during the session, fueling's so important. So it's not so much just during the session, but you might get through a session okay, but if you don't fuel properly, then that next session, like in the afternoon, you're really going to feel the effects of the earlier one, and the quality's not going to be there. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, is get your nutrition in, fuel properly, get the feed up as much as possible. Yeah, so in terms of the team around me, so obviously triathlon is a very individual sport, but you can't get to the sort of level that I'm at and working towards without a good supportive team around you. My parents, ever since I was born, they always just wanted me to do what I enjoyed, and they supported me as much as they could to work towards my goals. They've never put me down. They've always, supported me wherever they can. So without them, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today. There have been times, obviously triathlon's quite a difficult sport in terms of financials when you're trying to work your way up the ranks, because you can't work as much if you want to get the training hours in. And I have questioned a few times if I should just go into full-time work and sort of give up the dream of becoming a professional triathlete. But my parents never wavered. They always said, no, like, you should stick to your goals. You've only got one life, do it while you can. So that's kind of my philosophy towards the sport. Yes, it is hard at the moment, but I know I'm not going to regret it down the track when I'm older and I look back on what I've done throughout my life. So yeah, keep pursuing the dream. So yeah, can't thank them enough. My girlfriend Carly, we've been together almost 5 years now. Yeah, she's been so supportive. She comes to pretty much every race. She's getting up at 4 a.m. most mornings, making sure I'm ready to go for training. She often comes out training with me too on some of my easier days and keeps me company. But I just can't thank enough how supportive she is. Without her, I wouldn't be able to do the sport. There's not many people who'd be willing to sacrifice a lot of their time to come out and watch you, let you train while they're waiting at home for you to get back. So yeah, she's been amazing. All the guys I train with, so yeah, I train with quite a few guys down here. Helps with motivation. Obviously triathlon, there are days when you go out for hard days and you got to train by yourself, but it definitely helps to have guys around, and just knowing at least a few times a week you can go out and train with people, it just makes it so much more motivating. So yeah, big team around, and yeah, so in terms of my goals coming up over sort of the next 12 months, just in off season at the moment, so I've got another few days off, which has been really nice. But then we start the build for 2024. So looking at racing Tasmania 70.3 in February, then we'll be straight into Geelong 70.3 in March. So they're kind of the two big races I'm targeting short term. Long term, I'd love to qualify for the World Champs, 70.3 World Champs in Taupo next year. That may be a long shot at the moment, but yeah, long-term goal would be to qualify for a 70.3 World Champs. My world ranking, I want to try and keep climbing that up. Would love to crack into the top 100 in the PTO world rankings. I think that's probably another 12 to 18 months off, but definitely feel like I'm capable of doing that. So that's definitely a long-term goal for me. My swim's always been my weak leg, so the next sort of 3 to 4 months over summer, especially while it's hot, I'm going to spend a little bit more time in the pool, a few more swim squads, because I feel like if I can get my swim at the level it needs to be, I've definitely got the bike run there to go with the top guys in the world. So that's kind of the plan over the next few months leading into those initial races, is just to work on the swim, and then from there over winter and those sort of months, we'll kind of work on building that bike base up sort of leading into the end of the year, because my bike's probably my strength at the moment, but you also want to make sure you keep working on your strengths, because you don't want to lose that either. All right, so final thing I want to talk about is for people wanting to get into tries, so people who are beginners or haven't done a triathlon before, would be to don't take yourself too seriously. It's a good social sport, really good for meeting people. That's kind of how I made friends down in Brisbane. So I'd moved down from Townsville, had no friends here, and then joined a tri club, and that's my social life really improved from there. And kind of you then meet people in the club, and then you also then meet people at events from there. So that'd be advice number 2, is enjoy yourself. Potentially look at joining a tri club, especially if you're not familiar with swimming, biking or running, or one of them or all three. So putting all three together can be quite difficult. Joining a tri club, you got people with loads of experience. They can give you a helping hand along the way, help you put it together, and it'll just make it so much more enjoyable for you, and then you can progress from there.